After I've applied Urban Decay Prime Potion all over my lid is just take a very neutral colour. This is just darker than my skin tone by like half a shade, and this is Steep from MAC. And just get some of that on a 217 brush, and this is just going to be our blender colour. I've been using this colour quite a lot for blending the crease and the brow bone colours together. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of Wedge and put that in the crease as well. This isn't going up as high, I'm just concentrating it pretty much in the crease. Now we're going to put down our base for the glitter, and for this I'm going to use the e.l.f. Duo Eyeshadow Cream. I think it's in Butter and Pecan. Any kind of creamy eyeshadow will work, something that doesn't crease on you too much. Something like Benefit Creaseless Shadows or MAC's cream colour bases will work really well as well. And I'm just using the darker side of it, the MAC 242. Just patting some of that onto the lid. If you have a NYX Jumbo pencil, that will work really well as well actually. And I'm just going to blend out the edges. You really need a really small amount of this, because of course with a cream shadow you do have the danger of it creasing later, so you want a really thin layer. Now I'm going to take my glitter, and this glitter is the Reflex Old Gold from MAC. It's my favourite glitter ever. It's just absolutely stunning. I absolutely love it. So to put this on, what I'm going to do is just use a flat brush. This is a Body Shop eyeshadow brush. Now this glitter, as you can see, is really finely milled. It's almost like an eyeshadow. It's not gritty at all. If you are using a different glitter, just make sure it's eye safe. So we're just going to press that on. What I usually do is just, you know, kind of raise my eyebrows and look really silly so you guys can all laugh at me. But that just stretches the skin on my lids without me, you know, like having to stretch it manually and give myself wrinkles. But just by doing that, make sure that you don't kind of miss any areas, and also you don't get any kind of deposit where your natural crease would be, because as you can see my eyelid crease is there, but I want to put glitter on that area and I don't want it to miss any folds in my eyelid. Just like that, just keep patting it. You don't need to sweep it because it will sink into that cream colour base, and that way it should stay put all night. Make sure you put your glitter away, because so many times I forgot and I've spilt it all over myself, all over my floor, my desk. I won't even show you the state of my carpet after all of these tutorials. So now what I'm going to do is just take a clean blending brush, and I'm going to blend just above the line with that glitter. This is just so that we don't have a really harsh line of glitter here. Now I'm going to take my 217 again, and I am going to take a dark brown. I prefer to keep it matte because, you know, there's so much glitter already going on, you don't need any extra shimmer. So I'm taking Espresso from MAC, that dark brown there, and we're going to put that in the crease just above that glitter. So this will kind of blend the glitter in as well, and it will give us a more defined crease, darken it up, smoky eye. I think that's the trick, to kind of incorporate it with the rest of your shadow so it doesn't make it look like, whoa, you're wearing glitter. If you kind of try and blend it in like you would any other shimmery eyeshadow, it starts to look a little bit more sophisticated, but at the end of the day, you know, it's still glitter, it's fun. And I'm just going to wipe off that brush, so you can take a clean one and use some of that beginning colour, that Steep, once again, just to blend the brown. And then we're going to add our highlights. Anything matte will do, preferably with a golden undertone. I don't really have anything, so I'm just going to use Vapor as usual. I'm going to go back in with Espresso and really darken up that lower lash line. And then in the inner tear duct, just here, we're going to add a pop of, oh, I hate saying that. Just forget I said that. And we're going to add a little bit of retrospeck, which is this glittery gold here. And that's just going to open up our eyes a little. And disguise the area where you couldn't quite fit the glitter. You know, I don't like to put glitter too far here, because if it falls, it's going to go pretty much straight into your eye. And if you rub your eye, you're going to get glitter everywhere. So normally I just leave this area free and then just put a lighter colour in the same kind of tone, shimmery eyeshadow. Now for the fallout, this is one of those times when a fan brush comes in handy. And as always, just to tidy up that under eye area, I'm going to take a little bit of a mix of the yellow and pink in the e.l.f. Complexion Perfection palette. And then just go around the eye area. Now it's time for eyeliner, and make sure you use a clean brush because you don't want to get any glitter on your eyeliner. What I'm going to do is just use this one because it's running out and I don't really use it anymore. But as you can see on the side, we don't want too much eyeliner. We don't want it to kind of overpower the glitter and make it look, you know, a bit like drag makeup or costume makeup. So what we want to do is just basically place the edge of the eyeliner right on the base of the lash. And then I just kind of place it and kind of drag it downwards to make sure I make a really thin line, but that the base of all the lashes is coloured in really well. And then I just like to flick it out as normal at the end, maybe not quite as thick and exaggerated. I'm also going to extend that line under the eye. You can use a pencil for this if you want it to be softer, but I'm just using the liquid, and before it dries I'm going to smudge it out with my 219, just like so. And now it's time for some mascara and eyelashes, and the ones I'm using are the e.l.f. Dramatic Lash. I wanted something that's not too long. As you can see, they're not, you know, ridiculously long lashes. They're longer than my natural lashes, only by a couple of millimeters. I really wanted these to be really full and thick to balance out all that glitter. So now the eyelashes are on, this is the final look for the eyes. You can see the glitter is just beautifully iridescent. And then for the rest of the face, since you have so much shimmer or glitter on your eyes, I would recommend just keeping it pretty plain and matte. Today I use the Temptu foundation in Warm Ivory, which is a really good match for my skin tone. And then for the blush, I used this colour, which is like a really dusky warm rose colour, and it's number 403 Washed Rose. It's that there, really, really nice. And over that I used the Temptu powder, and this is their retouch powder in Soft Beige, which just mattifies the foundation and makes it last longer. So yeah, it comes in this convenient little pump brush applicator thing. And now for the lips, you could just keep it neutral, go with the browns. What I'm going to do is just add a little bit of colour, but still keep them quite matte. And what I'm going to use is a lip stain, so nothing too glossy that will compete with the shimmer on your lids, but just a stain so it balances out the eyes and gives you really nice kind of raspberry pink lips. This is a Rouge High Tech water-based lip tint. It's number 85. It looks really bright and scary, but I'm just going to put a little bit on and just rub it in. You have to make sure that your lips are really nicely moisturised, otherwise it will stick to any dry areas. Like I have a little dry area here, and you can see how that's making it much darker. I really like using a stain for Christmas parties and any kind of going out formal occasions, because whenever you're eating or drinking, especially if you're like drinking red wine and you're scared it will dye your lips, if you have that stain underneath your lipstick, then you know that it's not going to budge. Even if your lipstick wears off the colour, if you have a similar colour stain underneath, it's still going to show through, so it's not going to look like you have that rim of yucky lipstick that's worn off. And on top of that, what I'm going to do is take this Chanel Lèvres Rose and Faux Camelias de Chanel, or Camelias de Chanel. I have no idea, but it's like loads of like 4 rosebud lipsticks. I'm just taking the darkest one and I'm gonna just pop a little bit on top. So just the tiniest amount has evened out that colour, and you can see that really lovely berry lip. I really like it because it's matte, it contrasts the eyes, but it doesn't take away from them. It just looks like, you know, you've drunk red wine or eaten a raspberry popsicle, so your lips are stained. So yes, my lovelies, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this glittery, sparkly tutorial. Glitter for grown-ups. I'm trying to record some tutorials to put up for Christmas parties, New Year's parties and stuff like that. It's just I'm away from home quite a lot recently, so it's been quite difficult, but I shall do my best. So do stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.